If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I could probably end the list right there, but I'm going to continue. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. Speaking from personal experience, creating a podcast felt so overwhelming. I didn't know where to start, but using Anchor was a no-brainer. Their website and app is user-friendly. You're able to navigate through it easily. It's pretty cool, guys. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. A one-stop shop. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. On this week's episode of the Haney Center podcast, we sit down with a certified badass. Not only is this guy a professional MMA fighter and a professional boxer, but he has done a lot of independent films and has dabbled into comedy as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my sit down with Chris Bad Boy Haney. But before we get into that, a word from our sponsors. This episode of the Haney Center podcast is brought to you by Spotify, the place where you can listen to your favorite artists and podcasts for free. Did you hear me? You don't even need a premium membership. Spotify has a huge catalog of podcasts on every topic, including the one you're listening to right now. On Spotify, you can follow your favorite podcast so you never miss an episode. Are you subscribed to me yet? Wink, wink. Premium users can download episodes to listen to offline wherever you are, and that is so convenient. How many times have you found yourself in an airplane or driving down a road with no reception and you just want to escape but can't? You are stuck sitting next to somebody that snores, or you're stuck in a meaningless conversation and you just want to listen to podcasts. Well, now you can, guys, and you can easily share what you're listening to with your friends on Instagram. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to download the Spotify app and search for Haney Center Podcast on Spotify, or browse podcasts in the Your Library tab. Also, make sure to follow me so you never miss an episode. All right, second episode. I'm here with my good friend, Chris Haney. How you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming on, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
I remember when I first came up with the idea of a podcast, you were probably one of the first two people I hit up. So the fact that you jumped on it without hesitation, I appreciate that.
I appreciate you thinking about me.
Well, I mean, so the reason why I thought about you is because you do a lot of shit. You're a pro boxer, fucking pro MMA.
Yep.
And you're a comedian, you're an actor. So my whole central point of the podcast is to try to reach to people that are doing, their own thing and creating their own paths. So when I thought of that concept, you came to mind because you have so many different roads that you could take. So how, why, and where the fuck did you start with MMA?
Okay, so my dad's always had us in sports. We were always very competitive since I was 4 years old, man. I mean, soccer, wrestling, baseball, football, whatever. I've always been a competitive guy.
Yeah.
And I never liked losing. So just throw that out there. So I've always been into wrestling, football, whatever, sports and all that. It was all good. I wasn't the best in any of them, but I was good in all of them.
You got brothers and sisters?
I have brothers. I have a Brady bunch. I have a half sister who's 38 now, and then I have a half brother who's 40, and then I have a brother who's 27, and I'm 31, so 27, he is 4 years younger than me, and then I have two stepbrothers that are 27 and 28. So pretty much growing up, it was always me and my younger brother Andrew, who was 27, no matter what, from day one.
Yeah.
And then my stepbrothers came around when we were about I was going into high school and they were like in, I don't know what that makes them, like 6th grade or something like that. So they were always around the same age. So they were very competitive with each other, but we were just a very competitive family, even my stepbrothers and all. So, and, you know, I mean, I love my stepbrothers and all, but it was always a battle. You know, I always wanted me and my brother to be better than my stepbrothers.
So it was kind of like the skins versus the shirts all the time.
Always. Yeah.
Did you win?
Me and my brother won most of the time.
Really? And they were older?
No, they're older than him, but they were younger than me.
Okay.
We were a little more competitive. I don't know. We were a little better in everything.
So you got into all these sports, and when you were younger, you were really physical. At what age did you get in like the octagon?
So when I was 20 years old, my dad introduced me to an MMA gym because when high school came along, I was still doing my sports, but I started hanging around with the wrong people.
Yeah.
I love to cause trouble also. I was an adrenaline rush kind of guy. That's what it is. More than competitive, I'm adrenaline rush. I like that excitement. I was causing trouble. I joined a gang and I didn't even need to. I looked for it. It's crazy. Like I looked for a gang to join because I wanted that. Like, I don't know. So hanging with the wrong dudes, always trying to be the best in everything, the best gangbangers, crazy. And
did you win any awards?
Yeah, I got a year in the penitentiary. I won that. I won a year in the penitentiary. And that really changed my mind on everything, you know, doing a year. You know, it's nothing compared to some people doing 20 years, but I don't care. 1-2 days in jail is more than enough. You don't do anybody any good in jail. So when I got out, I was on parole and all, trying to straighten out my act. And my dad introduced me to an MMA gym. He just started training there just for cardio and like strength and conditioning. And he's like, they do the cage fighting. I'm like, what? They fight in the cage, like for real? And he's like, yeah.
Have you seen that before though?
No, only on TV. Only on TV.
And you see it?
And I've never really, I never knew how.
You didn't pay it no mind?
No, yeah. You know, like, oh, they fought, cool, I watched it, that's awesome. I never thought like, oh, it's something I can do.
Yeah.
Of course, I sat on my couch, you know, maybe with a beer or something like, hey, I can do that. But never really.
Actively wanted to do it.
And then my dad just said that he was at there. I'm like, oh, I got to go. Man, I went that first day and I got my ass kicked, dude, by everybody. I'm talking about even the girls.
You didn't even train? You just went straight into getting your ass
I just went, I mean, it was practice, but yeah, they were beating on me, you know. I thought I was.
Like, because it was sparring, right?
We rolled in practice first and then we sparred afterwards. And I thought I was a tough guy, and I thought I knew how to fight because I won a lot of street fights.
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
But, you know, I did a lot of wrestling, street fighting kind of thing, take them to the ground and beat them up.
But then they started doing all that technical shit.
Man, they putting arm bars on people, putting you in chokes. You think you're going to die? I'm like, this is insane. I didn't know this was possible. Like, you could kill somebody in like multiple ways. So, man, I had to know it. I got beat up by everybody, and I loved it. And I was like, I'll be back tomorrow.
You loved getting your ass kicked?
I loved it. And it amazed me that somebody can do that to me, and it looked like they put no effort into it. And then it reminded me, like, man, Chris, you don't know how to fight. You think you know how to fight, but you don't know how to fight. So, man, I joined that, and man, first day got me, and I never stopped. I just had to.
Where'd the name Bad Boy come from?
So my coach gave me the name Bad Boy just because he knew when I came in there, my coach was a down-to-earth guy, but he knew my story. I told him I just got out of jail, gangbanging and all, but I was a very good wrestler. So I went in there, and I was a little guy. I only weighed 127 pounds when I was 20 years old joining. And no grown man should weigh 127 pounds, okay? But I did, and but I was very strong for it. And then my brother came, who I told you about, and they used to call us the Diaz brothers, who are really badass fighters, and they're bad, man.
Yeah, I watched them, and when I was getting prepared for this sit-down, I thought about you and your brother, because I know he does MMA too. If I had to compare you guys to anybody, it would be the Diaz brothers.
And right away we got compared to them, and I knew who they were, but I didn't really know who they were. And then when I had to start watching and paying attention, and I fell in love with those guys. Now let me tell you, I'm not as bad as them. I'm sorry, but them guys, dude, they do like triathlons and stuff like for fun. I mean, who does that for fun? They're like, these guys are crazy, and they'll be smoking right before and everything. It doesn't faze them. I love those guys, dude.
Who's your favorite out of the two?
So Nate Diaz is my favorite, the younger brother.
He's the baby.
You know, and when I started, Nick was kind of past his prime kind of thing, but Nate, man, dude, the shit talking and then going in there and backing it up is insane.
He's like the Mexican Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Dude, I love that guy. So that's why they called us, so we were like them, and we were kind of the bad ones. Me and my brother, we were just dogs in there, man. We didn't care if we was getting beat up or doing tougher. We never gave up. We were dogs. There was no quitting us. And that's where I got the bad boy from and stuff.
So I've been knowing you for a few years now, and every time we talk and you get into these events, you always say short notice, or how often do you get these short notice fights?
So I get these short notice fights all the time now. I get offered a fight probably every month, sometimes twice a month. Boxing or MMA, I get offered. I turned a lot of them down because I'm not ready, or if I have a contract already signed for another one, I can't do it. But I get offered all the time. And what happened was, in MMA, I fought, and then my very first amateur fight. So I've only fought one time. I won in like 30 seconds. It wasn't really a fight. I choked him out. The next day, I get a call, or my coach gets a call, and they want the Diaz brothers, is what they called us. It's like, hey, those Diaz brothers that you got on your team. And it's like, oh, yeah, those Puerto Rican ones. And he's like, yeah. He's like, will they fight for me? Well, we fought on a Friday, and then they wanted us to fight again on a Tuesday. And it's like, we just fought. So we got the call maybe like on a Saturday.
But did you really fight? That shit was like 30 seconds.
30 seconds. So you know what? No, I didn't really fight. But that wasn't even, my coach is like, hey, they want you to fight on Tuesday or whatever. And I'm like, dude, yes. Yeah. There's no question about it. Like, yes, let's do it. Dude, getting in the cage is a feeling that you can't explain. At first, there was no nervousness at all. I was just too excited. I was a bad boy. Yeah. As the career went on, you started fighting better people. You're really trying to put on a show. You get a little nervous, but the feeling of getting in the cage is like unexplainable. So, man, they offered me another fight. Me and my brother took that shit on a few day notice. Wow. And I fought a dude that was 7-0, Joey Deal, and he was the star. He was all over the posters and all. I went in there and I was like, I don't know if I should have did this. Like, who am I fighting?
You didn't know him?
No, I didn't know him. I didn't know anybody. I didn't care,
so you said
man.
Yes.
Yes, right away, man. And we're not even getting paid as amateurs. Like, we're not even getting paid. We just doing it to do it. It's for fun. And I just took it. But I went in there and I started seeing him all over the thing. And we were the main event and all this. And I'm like, holy shit. Well,
you didn't get paid for a main event?
No. Not as an amateur. As an amateur, you can't get paid, but you can make money off your ticket sales.
Okay.
So if you sell enough tickets, you make money, a percentage. Well, in 3 days, I can't sell very many tickets, so I didn't really make any money. Yeah. But I put a name out there because we were main event, second MMA fight. I've only been training for 2 months before we had our first fight. Yeah. Where I was like, Coach, I'm not here to practice. I'm here to fight. Like, what's up? Like, let's fight. So went in there, man, and we went 3 rounds, and I beat this dude's ass for 3 rounds, dude.
And he was the main
event, undefeated, from a team called Team Curran. They're top level guys. And I beat him, and bro, people saw it and they seen it, and next thing you know, it was like, call Chris. And you know what? When what happens with the short notice fights is you get good opponents and you get good pay. Now that I'm pro, what happens is, hey, I need you in a week. Oh, you need me then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really need me. How much do you need me? It's like, man, that dude's good. How much do you need me? Like, man.
So are you at a position, I mean, you're not fucking top, but are you at a position where you can negotiate? Like, hey, how much do you need me?
I do a lot of negotiating now. I do have a manager and a coach that does negotiating. I thought I negotiated. One time I thought I negotiated, and then my coach came back and he's like, bro, I got you another $1,000. I'm like, what? What? I love you, coach. What? So he handles my business from now on. But they message me first and ask me. I'm like, man, what are you offering? $1,000. Oh, man, I don't really fight for less than $1,500. See what they shoot me. See how bad I need money that month, If I'm really desperate, all right. But I always try to get a little farther. And if you look at the opponent and you look how desperate they are, I'm in a spot to negotiate.
So with you taking short notice fights, like you said, sometimes you get good opponents. How do you prepare for a short notice fight? Do you look at your opponent's tapes?
I have one style, and it's attack. You know what? It's hard. I used to try to study opponents. Yeah. Man, when that whistle blew or that bell rang and it was time to go, I forgot everything that I said I was going to do, and I just turned into an animal, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not stupid.
Are you strategic with your approach at some point? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, you're going in there for attack, right? But are you figuring out as you're going, how am I going to attack him? Where you're like, I'm going to fucking just...
First 30 seconds to a minute is just go in there and try to knock him the hell out, get paid, and be done. That is the goal. After the first couple minutes, it slows down kind of quick, and then that's when you start to study your opponent. I'm not the, I don't have tons of moves and all. I know what I'm good at and I stick with it. I'm unorthodox. Boxing coaches don't like me. They're like, Chris, that's not right. Yeah, but it works. And it drives them nuts because it shouldn't work, but it does. That's just my style. And it throws really good boxers off or really good MMA fighters off because you're not supposed to do that. So they weren't expecting it. So it works for me. But I do have, so I'll be like, okay, he's looking for a lot of headshots. So I will go to the body. Oh, I threw a right hand, and he blocked like this, so I'm going to fake a right hand and throw a left. So I do have some kind of strategy to it. Yeah. But, yeah, it's not the prettiest sometimes. It's just fight, It's just fight.
You say you just go all out. I picture myself going, I'm fucking doing windmills. I'm just... So aiming for the balls. I'm just in whatever.
That's what my first day of training was like, man. My brother got some video of it, and I was like, "What? I look like a grandma throwing punches. This shit wasn't right at all." It's like, Chris, you didn't throw one proper punch. I'm like, man, I didn't know.
No good form.
No, not at all, man. I didn't know. But if you watch the Diaz fight, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like a Nate Diaz. He's a little different, but it freaking works for him. He's just like slapping and just throwing his hand out there, and it doesn't look like much power, but he's hurting people. I was kind of like that,
He's my spirit animal.
He's your spirit animal?
Yeah. He's what I want to be like when I grow up.
Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you.
What's on Bad Boy's playlist when you're working out or you're getting ready for a fight? Like, what is a song that you don't, do you have like a go-to?
Oh, man. To pump you up? I couldn't even name what I listen to. I'm all over the place. Like, man, when I first started, it was like, I had just got done with the rap, my little gang years and stuff. So I was all rap anymore? So I didn't. And when I started MMA, it was more like a rock. My dad got me stuck on like Five Finger Death Punch and some of these guys. And I was really getting into that. And then I broke free of that and got back into my rap. There's just some rap songs. Now, the one that I come out to most is, what do I come out to now? I come out to... No Church in the Wild by Jay-Z and Kanye West. I came out one time to it against an undefeated guy in Indiana, main event. He just beat one of our guys. He's a bad motherfucker. I went out there, bro, and I beat him in 30 seconds. Came out there, had this plan in my head. He a wrestler.
Was that the one that you fought on a Friday? No.
No.
It wasn't?
No.
Okay.
No, but I might have fought him on a Friday, though. It might have been a Friday, but it wasn't that one. It was a pro fight. Actually, it's the Henry versus Haney one.
Ah, okay.
So I took that fight, short notice, about 2 weeks. I mean, usually they say you want about 2 months training camp to learn your guy. I took that shit on like 2 weeks. And, you just try to stay in the gym as much as you can so that you're always prepared and ready. Went out there, had an idea that I'm going to throw a flying knee for some reason, and I threw it, and it freaking landed. And I hit him with a right hand, and he didn't know what to do, and I choked him out. He went to sleep in like 30 seconds. And that's the song I was listening to, so I stuck with that song for a while. I was like, this is my song.
I'm amazed at the fact that you're just fucking sitting here and just talking to me about it. Like, yeah, I just choked the guy. He just went to sleep.
Yeah, he was just sleeping. Like, I could have killed him if the ref didn't stop it, Like, he was close to dying. But that was a good one, man. I won't forget that one. But and then, so I kind of stuck with the rap, though. And I'm all over the place, man. I could listen to it. It's more about the beat than anything. Kind
of. Okay, it's like the vibe, whatever vibe you're feeling.
Yeah, it's strange.
So, has there ever been a fight or a moment in your career, either or, where you get in the ring, right, or short notice or planned or whatever, and you get hit and you're like, fuck, why did I take this fight?
One time, my very first boxing match. So I never had because I already went pro as an MMA fighter. Never planned on boxing. Boxing wasn't my thing. I was a wrestler. So I went pro boxing without any amateur fights. So my very first pro fight ever was against this Russian dude named Ivan Banakarich or Nakachik or something. And this dude, Man, I don't even know how to explain it. So I get over there. They tell me he's 0-0. This is his pro debut.
Oh, shit.
I look him up online. I can't find nothing about this guy. I don't even know how to look at people in Russia. Like, I don't know
Did you check his Facebook? Did he have a Facebook?
He didn't have a Facebook. I don't know what the Russian version of Facebook is, but like, he didn't have nothing. There was nothing on this guy. And I'm like, all right, I look at him and he got like a strong body look, but not swole. He had like the six pack that like looked like a belly. Like, I don't know how to explain. It looked like he lived on a farm maybe or something. Like, I don't know. I'm like, this dude ain't scary at all though. I got this guy. So we went there and man, see, I'm the bad boy. So what I do is I like to put on a show. Win or lose, it don't matter, man. People love me because I put on a show. I talk shit to an extent, not to a bad extent, but to an extent. I get in people's face. I laugh. I talk to them in the fight. I wave them on. I smile at them. Well, this guy standing in the corner before the fight, I always give them a serious look like, you shouldn't have took this fight against me. You fucked up. Well, I was giving him that look, and I was walking back and forth, and I was giving him the look in that corner, and I was like, dude, you fucked up.
How was he responding?
And he looked at me with these eyes, bro, like I don't even know. He looked at me, and I felt it right away. He like pierced into my soul.
What?
Bro, I fucked up. He gave me the look like, nah. He knew what I was saying. But he looked at me and he said, nah, you fucked up.
He translated that shit.
And I knew it. I looked at him and I looked at my corner and I'm like, dude, did I fuck up? I don't know. This guy don't look scared at all.
Did you look at your corner while you were looking at him and say that
I looked at my corner. Now, I didn't say it, but they saw it in my eyes too. I looked at my brother and he kind of gave me a scared nod.
Man.
Like, my brother looked scared and he looked at me and he's like, no, hey, you got this, Chris. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking die. So we went out there, man, and sure enough, bro, that first punch he threw, he landed, man, right in the temple. I went straight down, dude. But I'm no bitch. I'm not staying down. I went one punch. I got it on video and everything, bro.
Was it a counter?
It was, no. He came in and he just attacked. Remember I told you I attacked? Nah. That motherfucker came in and he attacked. Man, I went down and it was down where I was like, bro, I was messed up and I was trying to like get up and you can tell my arms were like not working like my head or my mind was telling it to work.
Yeah.
But I'm looking in my corner and I'm sure my eyes are far white as hell and I'm looking there and my tongue is numb. I was hit so damn hard that my tongue is numb. I don't even know why my tongue is numb. I don't know what part of the brain is connected to that tongue, but that shit got hit. My tongue was numb. Man, I looked at my corner and I'm like, all right, they looking at me, man. They're telling me to get up. And I'm like, fuck, man. So I got up. Man, whew. I looked at him and I was like, all right, I got to attack. So I attacked. We went about another 30 seconds. I put my head down, dude, and I was just raining punches at him, Joe. He blocked every single one of these fucking punches I threw. And then he threw a counter and he knocked me out. Again, not out cold, but I couldn't get up. I was doing one of those where you were like, I was trying and my arm would like give up and I'd go face plant, into the canvas.
Yeah.
Hey, man, my corner threw in the white towel right away, bro. I was trying to get up though because I didn't want to be a bitch. I was like, man, bro, I got to get up. And I couldn't, physically couldn't. Dude, that dude, a month later, like maybe like 3 months later. It was a few. I got hit really hard in the head, so I don't remember. Maybe it was like a few months later. I'm watching TV with my brother, Showtime Boxing on TV. And sure enough, the main event, fighting for the fucking belt, is Ivan Barakanakachakakis, or whatever the hell his name, the killer. Okay, the Russian killer is what he is. And he's there fighting for the belt on TV for a main event. I just fought that guy 3 months ago. I was 0-0. They said this guy never had a pro fight. What the hell is going on? This dude is a killer.
What was his record when you saw him?
He was 7-0 at that time. So he fought like twice a month. It was ridiculous, bro, because he was knocking everybody out. He fighting for the belt on national TV and he knocked dude out in 14 seconds. I was like, I fought that dude, and I lasted 47 seconds. So, like, I'm probably better than that other dude he beat, right? Like, I'm better than him, right? Holy shit, that dude was a beast. I'll never forget that one. I got video. I show people. I'm not like, scared to admit it or sad or just. It happens. This is the sport game. You get hit. I watched that video 100 times. It is what it is, bro. It's part of the game. I can't believe that I was still conscious getting hit that hard. Like, I'll give myself props. Fuck. That man was a bad dude, though. Find out later, though, that he was 82-1 as an amateur.
Oh.
Yeah, they don't keep track of amateur records, though. You can look them up all you want, and you will never find that out.
You fought a 40-year-old and
talking to the promoter and shit, and this dude had almost 100 amateur fights. That shit is ridiculous. But that's what happened when you take short notice fights.
Yeah.
They flew me all the way to Baltimore. I'm in Chicago. They flew me all the way to Baltimore. I took this fight on like 5-day notice just because I had all my blood work in, and they know I'm a gunner and shit, and they're like, man, what, you got anybody? Like, my coach is like, well, I got this dude Chris. I mean, he always willing to fight and get paid. What's up? So, man, they flew me all the way to Baltimore. They paid me $2,000 for my first boxing fight, which is good money. I don't even get paid that much in most of my MMA fights as the main event because I ain't at that level yet. But, I mean, I'm at a decent level. And, man, they paid for my tickets, paid for my cornerman ticket, food, hotel, everything. I'm like, boxing's where it's at. Man. Getting knocked the fuck out isn't, but boxing's where it's at, dude. This is love.
You got flown first class to get your ass kicked.
To get my ass kicked and go right back home with $2,000 done, so I wasn't too mad. And so they flew me out a few more times after that, though, and I had 2 draws. The last 2 ones have been draws, which if you fly me out there on short notice and I fight a hometown guy and it's a draw, I consider it a win. It is what it is. But I have to knock him out next time. I got a rematch coming up, actually. What is that? October 18th in Maryland, I got a rematch. I'm fighting a cop. We fought just a few months ago, and they called it a draw, which, you know, whatever we want to say. But,
but you're going to go in, right? You're going to finish him.
I'm finishing him. I'm taking. I mean, that was without training. Now I'm training. Like, dude done. And I know he training too, but I'm gonna give it to him, bro. I'm better than him. So
talking about that fight, I saw your shorts. Where in the hell did you get it? Because I want to get some Puerto Rican shorts.
So I ordered them online.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on Amazon and all. I'm pretty sure it was Amazon.
I just fucking guessed. Amazon?
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, and then they had me fight another Puerto Rican. So, you know, I got the Puerto Rican look. I played the Puerto Rican role. I love the Puerto Rican role, man. The girls loved the Puerto Rican role growing up. Dudes thought it was kind of intimidating. Hey, I'm the Hispanic. I love that shit. But I'm also half white. I know absolutely no Spanish.
You look Spanish as hell.
Okay, I look it. But so, one of my fights, they got me going against this dude. He was another champ at one time. He fought on HBO, I think, boxing. Puerto Rican dude, David Diaz. Hey, man, I saw him come out to weigh-ins in his Puerto Rican shorts. Now, he got some fancy Puerto Rico shorts. And I had my shorts in my bag that I was going to wear at weigh-ins. And then I seen him pull out his. And I said, oh, hell no, bro. So I pulled out my all-black shorts and put those on because I don't need this. I don't need this.
You don't want to compete.
No.
You don't want to compete with
and sure enough, when I got up there, bro, the first thing the promoter said is, all right, we got a bout between the Boricuas. And I'm like, oh, bro, like, it's cool. I'm not mad. But sure enough, man, we fought. And the whole time they was like, oh, give it up for the Boricuas and Boricua. After the fight, what happens? All the fucking Puerto Ricans come up to me speaking to me in Spanish. All of them speaking to me in Spanish, and I'm like, man, I'm sorry, I don't know Spanish. You Boricua though, right? You Boricua, yeah. No. Oh, you're not Puerto Rican, like, you know. So I was like, nah, he's the real Puerto Rican here. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, so it kind of sucked, you know what I'm saying? So they had me fight another Puerto Rican not too long ago, and I watched his fights. He came in Puerto Rican shorts, so I just never even mentioned that I was Puerto Rican. I'm like, hey, I'm Italian. But so I love my Puerto Rico shorts, but I gotta watch who I fight when I wear them now.
Well,
so
you're definitely gonna wear them back.
But I'm fighting them in the rematch. I wore them last time, and I'm gonna fight them. I'm using them there, but I'm trying to add to them and all. Trying to make them a little more fancy, man. They need fancy shorts in boxing. It's crazy. They got like, I don't even know, bro. They got too much shit on it, man. It's crazy.
So we're done with MMA. You have a fucking bunch of stories, man. Last question for MMA before we move on to acting. How many years do you got left?
There's no saying, man. I'm gonna fight till I can't fight no more.
Yeah?
It's in me, man. I don't see too many people fighting after 40, 45, really, but man, I don't know.
You're gonna Jay-Z it? You're gonna go into your
I'm gonna try.
50s?
I'm gonna go until my body says no. I don't know what else to do, man. I need that adrenaline rush. I need that thing. Plus,
jump out of an airplane.
Plus the money. I'm scared of heights. I don't mind getting punched, but I'm fucking scared of heights, dude.
You're adrenaline rush.
Right? I know. And I said that, and I told my girl, I'm like, let's do it. I told my wife, let's do it. And she said, yeah, let's do it. And I said, what? You really want to do it? She's like, yeah. I'm like, no, I don't know, man. Maybe not. Let's go scuba diving or something.
You iFly. You know there's an iFly, right?
There's a what?
You never heard of iFly? iFly in Rosemont. You been there?
Oh no, where they got the machine or whatever, right?
It's like
that shit look cool. That don't go very high though, right? I could do that.
It goes high enough to where you're gonna shit yourself.
Okay, maybe I don't want to do that. And you gotta pay for that?
You gotta pay to shit yourself. I mean, whatever. I guess. I mean, you're used to getting your ass kicked sometimes. I
don't know why I enjoy that so much more. But no, it's good. I like the adrenaline rush though. I like the fear because afterwards is when you really feel like, man, I'm alive. You know, it's crazy.
How did you get into acting? Where did that come into play with MMA?
You know, so I was enjoying the acting and all, but I had the MMA, but you know, in my head when I first started, I'm like, I'm gonna be on TV and I'm gonna be famous and rich and never have to do anything else again. Well, reality kicked in real quick with that, and so I still do it for fun and all that, but I don't know, man. One day, I don't know if I seen somebody that I knew or I don't know what did it, but I was like, man, I can do this. And it kicked in like, man, I remember I said I can do the MMA. And then you did. And then I finally did it. Like, let me look into this. Yeah. Well, I did a little bit of searching and I'm like, all right, man, there's classes, there's this. I mean, let's do it. I had nobody pushing or nobody helping or saying you can do this. It was just one day I was like, as a kid, I was in a lot of plays. I enjoyed acting. In real life, I mean, at work, I'm a clown. I was a class clown in school. I'm a clown at work. I like to joke around. I like to act. I like to play around. I'm like, I can do this. So let's do this. So I just tried it one day. I mean,
so you went into, your first thing was a gig first, or did you get into school?
So I got onto American Greed first.
What the hell is American Greed?
Yeah, I heard American Greed. I just found out somebody else is in it too. So it's it was a TV show on. Man, I can't even tell you what channel it was on though. Not like sci-fi. I don't know what it was. So it's American Greed is always a story about like something that happened. Like with the one I was on, it was about a doctor in California that was selling painkillers.
So it's kind of like a reenactment?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's a reenactment and explaining their story.
Yeah.
And explaining their story about what happened. This one was about a drug doctor that was selling painkillers, and then they had a undercover go in there and buy it and record it and all that. So I was just a little extra. All you saw was my arms. I was just buying drugs, buying painkillers and all. And I was like, man, this is cool. Like I could see me doing this. And then I was like, but this is not what I see me doing. I see me doing some real shit, you know, acting, you know. So then I went on and I started looking for classes, and there's a lot of scams out there, man.
Nice segue, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of scams out there. You got to be careful.
Because that was literally my second question.
So the first one I went to, I don't know, should we be mentioning names?
Initials, probably. Just JC.
Yeah. The other one was something to do with a 9. And so I went to this one, and I went in there, and it was one big room, and everybody was there, and they act like it was audition to get signed by an agency. So I'm thinking this is where what you got to do. Yeah. So I went there, and what did they want? They wanted $500. They said, oh yeah, you got the look, you just need to practice. $500, and we'll get you headshots and this and that. And I'm like, oh man. So I came and I told my wife, and she's like, you out your damn mind if you think you spending $500 on this shit. So I had to, look around and ask and all that, and I was getting a lot of that's a scam, it's a scam,
Yeah. But you did your reviews before I
dropped $500, I mean, it was like, man, $500, like, bro, I need a gig for that. Well, they weren't teaching though. They weren't giving classes and all, So
what was the $500 going to?
I guess headshots and portfolio or something. I don't know. I still get messages and emails from them and texts all the time saying, Chris, we know that you were looking or whatever. We could set up an appointment for you tonight at 7. And if that doesn't work, just give me a call. We could try to work something out all the time. And I text them back all the time like, I'm not interested. You tried to charge me last time. You still charging? Oh, well, we'd have to talk to somebody else about that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I already have an agent. I don't need you. And then I'll get a call from the same people but a different number in the email like, we tried to get a hold of you. I know. You stay getting a hold of me. I know. So they still trying, but I found one in JC.
Yeah. Which was good. I want to say that because when I said JC, I didn't explain it. JC was an acting school that you and I
at least we took classes. Now it was a bit expensive.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was a bit expensive. Yeah. Was it worth that much? I'm not sure.
I could do without. All right, JC. There's courses was commercial print, runway, acting. Myself, I am not a commercial model, commercial print. That's not my interest. Could I do it? Possibly. There's always a demographic that I'll fit in. Run away? Absolutely not. I'm 5'9" and I'm fucking fat and bald. Seriously?
I'm 5'9", I got tattoos all over me. I never meet the height requirements.
Yeah.
There's no point in it. I didn't want to do modeling. I don't want to do modeling. I'll do some print ad. I'll do some commercials, whatever. I think I got a look that looks good. But modeling, nah, I don't do runway. You ever try to, I can't even, when they tell you to just walk normal or something, I can't do it.
Overthink it.
Yeah, overthink things, bro. I was stepping over my own feet, like tripping over my own feet. It was crazy. But they did more of the modeling and stuff than the acting, than what I needed, That was the problem.
And that's why you felt it wasn't worth it.
And that's why I felt like it wasn't worth it. Now, the acting classes, though, I learned a lot. God, yeah. I didn't know a lot. Again, I was like, same with like MMA. I'm like, oh yeah, you can do it. You just fight. You know what I'm saying? Oh, acting? Oh yeah, cool. You just act. Just pretend. Nah, it's not that simple. You get there and you learn there's techniques to this. Yeah. What are they looking for? Where do you got to go? Networking is by far the biggest. Man. And that's where I met you.
Yeah.
The best things that happened from there was networking, meeting somebody like you, then meeting people that you knew from bringing me on projects, just throwing my name out there like, hey, I know this guy. And then, 4-star casting, which is great for Chicago, just extras.
Yeah.
Okay, it's extras. They don't really go on your resume. It's,
But it could lead to it, though.
It could lead to it.
I mean, you can get a upgrade.
One, I loved it because I got to see behind the scenes. I got to see firsthand how it goes down.
That was fun. it was fun. Sometimes it was boring, but it was fun.
It depends on what show you were on, for sure. Some shows weren't as fun as others.
Yeah.
But, and then, I starstruck. You're watching these guys you see on TV all the time just walk past you.
Yeah.
Normal.
Yeah.
Normal as hell. You're like, dude.
Wedgies like a normal person.
Nah, yeah. And you got a lot of money and you famous and like, dude, like, man, but normal. Yeah. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I was, starstruck. I was like, dude, this is cool or whatever. So, and then I was on one show, Redline. You can catch me on Redline.
Yeah.
I was an extra. I got to a point in my career where, now I'm getting some speaking lines, some indie films, getting paid a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying to do a little more than extra. I seen that side of it. I'm not really trying to do any more extra. But a new show came out in Chicago, Redline. Now, if it's a new show, I'm gonna try to jump on it. I think.
How about that film that just? I think they're starting to film this week. Candyman. Yes.
It's called Say My Name. Yep.
Say My Name.
I got denied an extra spot on it. Yeah, they gave me a availability check to be like a neighborhood in the building.
Orderly? Is that the one?
I don't know. It might have been
overnight show. Overnight shoot.
Yeah, it was an overnight shoot.
Yeah.
And I said available. And they never gave me the booking thing.
Well,
punks. Punks. Screw that movie.
Maybe you gotta wait until like 2 days before. That's the way they usually do it.
Screw that movie. But and I got one before that for it too, where they were looking for like neighborhood pedestrians. But I don't know if I said because when it said "Say My Name," I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
But then they said Jordan Peele and Candyman. And I'm like, Jordan Peele? What?
Yeah.
I'm in. So like Redline came out. Nobody knew. You don't know. It's a pilot. You don't know what's gonna happen. I go in as an extra. They just need some guys moving boxes. Whatever. Cool. I go. But the thing is, new shows. There's always a chance to get bumped or upgraded.
What, for pilot season? Like pilots?
Yeah, pilots, because, they're not quite sure. Nothing's locked in stone on those.
Yeah.
So I went there. The chances are slim, but you see it happen. Well, I went there, and I was talking to one of the actors, and they flew him out from L.A. He was only in that episode. He was like the main cop. In the episode or whatever. So we were just talking during the breaks and, I was asking about him. He seen my cauliflower ear and he's like, oh, you fight? And I'm like, yeah, I fight. And he's like, oh, so you're a badass. And I'm like, yeah, I don't come here.
Bad boy to be exact.
I was like, I don't just act like a badass.
Is my brother. I'm bad boy.
Yeah, right. I don't just act like a bad boy. Like, I am bad. Like, this is for real. I enjoy fighting and stuff. And, we got to talking a little bit. And then they're like, all right, they're ready to start the scene again. Well, he goes out there and I watch the director go up to him.
Yeah.
And I'll pay attention to everything. I'm trying to be first in line. Like, I want to be there. And I seen the director. It's a real nice lady. And she's like, so on this scene, what we're going to do is we're going to have somebody like stand behind you, kind of like your backup, like your bodyguard. And she was like, who do you want? And I read her lips, man. I saw what she was saying. I saw it. And he looked over, and I swear he looked right for me. Like, he scanned that crowd a little bit, saw me, locked eyes on me. And I winked at him. I was like, you know you want me? And he's like, yeah, I want that guy. I was like, yes! So they brought me up.
So it was a featured extra?
It was a feature extra. They gave me a little bump on the pay. And then what I got to do was just walk behind them. And then the one cop got in his face. And I got to act like I was going to attack him, and it was cool. I got my face all over the some screen time. It was nice. And that was an extra.
Was that the exterior shot?
Yeah, we were outside moving and all. They had the dude that plays Mickey in Shameless. So again, I was like, man, I love this guy in Shameless. Like, it was cool. I got to act like I was going to beat his ass. That was cool. So, so extras is not always a bad thing. I just pick and choose which ones are worth it.
It's a great way to get into the field and actually know. So that way, when you're actually on an indie set or you're doing your own project, you know how to move. You know what you're supposed to do. And you know, like, all the terms.
Yes. Yeah, because the first couple times I had no idea what was going on, but now I feel like an expert. I'm all like, okay, you want me if we screw up, you want me to just take a couple seconds and, to give you some time and then get right back at it? Or, I don't know. I just feel like I'm over here giving people advice and shit. Like, it's crazy, I mean.
Talking about Shameless, your son was on Shameless, right?
So my son was on Shameless. He's about to be 11 months in a few days.
Oh,
so,
okay.
We got him signed by Dream Team. I got him signed by Dream Team Talent
you're signed over there too?
I am. I got him signed at 4 months. I've been seeing Dream Team Talent. And I've been like, oh man, I want to, but am I ready? It's always, I auditioned for Great Talent. They called me back for a second audition. They put me in front of that camera and I froze.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't let this happen again. I got to be prepared. So I wasn't sure if I was ready. But now my son is just cute as heck, and he can't talk. So, he ain't going to be any more ready than he is right now as a baby. So I reached out to her about if she will represent very young talent. And she said she does. And I was like, because he's so cute and always smiling, I think we can do something with him. And then she reached out to me and says, but does his father act? And I said, yeah, I do. And she's like, do you have an agent? And I said, no, I don't. Actually, I was thinking about trying for you. I just, with the way work has been going and I do this fighting, I just wasn't sure if I was ready yet. So she had me come in for an audition and she signed me.
You did your monologue?
I did my monologue.
Which one? The fighting one?
No. I got this very easy, I had this very easy like drama monologue, just talking about like kind of being alone and like how nobody believes in me or trusts me. It's just kind of like, I feel like I have the tough guy look, so I figured I'd hit them with like a sensitive, almost make myself cry kind of thing so that they know, so they can see it. I've changed that now. Okay. I'm back to being a tough guy. It's just, it just feels more natural and all to be like a funnier tough guy kind of thing. So I did that and she signed me and I've had a few auditions. Haven't got any, but I just auditioned for a co-star role on Empire.
Oh, that's awesome. And I saw that. Good luck, man. I hope you get it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I hope I get it too. The callback's supposed to be tomorrow. So we'll find out tomorrow. Ooh. Most likely I'll be crying at the end of the night, but it is what it is. What they say, for every 50 auditions you'll land one. Yeah. This business is tough.
And the thing is, for every no opens another opportunity.
Okay.
That's what I see. Bro, because before I wrote Silenced, I auditioned for it was like a web series. It was like an office type thing, like comedy. And I auditioned for, you ever seen the movie Baby Mamas with Tina Fey, Amy Poehler?
Oh, yeah.
So the character Steve Martin plays, where he's like the hippie.
Right, boss, he's real, So
that was kind of like the character that I went in for. And on the script it said, it asked to write a hoverboard, which I never did. So I bought a hoverboard and I trained myself for a week. I'm writing down the block, saying my lines and whatever. So I go in and it was a no, and I was like kind of like down. I wasn't depressed, but I was like, fuck it.
It sucks. So who likes being told no? I don't care. I go in there thinking they might say no. Most likely they're going to say no. Yeah. And then if they say no, I'm still like, oh.
Dude, and it hurt. But I was like, man. But then I thought, like, bro, like, why am I seeking my opportunity? Make my own. And that's how I started, writing my film and started learning more about other things. So every no is not a no, bro. It's just another yes to something else.
I hear that.
That's the way it is.
And I take everything for experience. I learn, every time I come out of an audition, I always think back like, what? I should have did this. You know what? I think they were looking for this. Yeah. So you learn, you learn to try to look into it more.
It's kind of like an argument. Like after you finish arguing with your girl, you walk away, you're like, damn it, I should have said this.
Exactly. I'm like, oh man, I should have. I know. On first auditions, I was stuttering and saying stupid nonsense, but then you get a little more comfortable with it, so the experience is great. Then you meet these people. Like I brought Ryder to an audition. They were looking for a little girl. It didn't matter because he was so little.
And he got it.
He got it. And yeah, so I'll be holding that against him till he's like 30 years old. Like you played as a girl, Sophie.
So calm your ass down. You're saying you're not gonna get crazy with me.
So I brought him on there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't audition. I just brought him for his audition or whatever. And then it was at O'Connor Casting. I came for an audition, and the lady's like, "I know you. Have I seen you before? Have you been here before?" And I'm like, oh yeah, I brought my son here one time. And she's like, oh yeah, the boy, right? That played as a girl. And I'm like, oh yeah, you do remember. Like you're not just saying it, you remember. Yeah. And she's like, yeah. So I'm like, all right, she remembers me now. I didn't get the role that I auditioned for, but
at least
she remembers me. Now I know, like, she was very nice to me that time. Like, so I feel like, every time I go there, she'll remember, oh, I'll do a little better, or you know what? Maybe he is ready, or look how determined he is, whatever. I don't know. So I just met a new lady this time, that does the casting for Empire. So, I mean, nothing's ever a loss. You know what I'm saying? There's always a positive to bring out of something.
And you always end up meeting new people.
And I love that part. I love that part. And I look at everybody else, and I seen everybody else being a little nervous and being a wreck there too. And I'm like, all right, it's everybody. It's everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Auditions are horrible, man. I prefer video auditions. How about you?
Yeah, but I have a hard time doing it too. I have a hard time doing video auditions. I'll make 1 million of them before I send one. It's ridiculous. But yes, I do. I like to.
Because you're able to redo it. Like, oh, I don't like that. Redo.
Exactly.
And they will never know.
Exactly.
We're coming at the end.
Oh, it's a shame.
I
be a part 2 coming up.
Definitely.
I'm down.
I like the vibe. I like the flow of it. So before I sign off, man, you want to give any special shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to my first MMA gym, Team No Ego. They're the ones that got it all started for me. I thank them for that. Right now I'm with Top Notch MMA in Villa Park. They do MMA and boxing. That's who I'm with right now. Shout out to Mac Ramos, who's my manager and coach over there. And also shout out to my agents, Dream Team Talent in Chicago. Vilma's the best. Thank you for all my auditions and all. Big shout out to them. That's it.
If you would like to get in contact with Chris Haney, you can search him on Facebook at Chris Bad Boy Haney. That's his professional athlete page. Chris Haney, actor/comedian. That's his acting page. And on Instagram, badboy1313. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay centered on all Indie Center podcast episodes. If you are an independent creator and have a story to share and want to have a sit down, please email me at indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. That's indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. If you have sponsorship inquiries, I'd love to help local businesses. Please email me at indiecenter.podcast@gmail.com. Until next Monday, guys. Peace.